Well,
like
we hate to end our Halloween fest on a downer.
I know. What a bummer.
I
What
really,
a
man,
bummer.
I was so hyped for this.
I was ready for it,
I
man.
think we should save our. I think that's a good broad overview of the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for people, this is our last Halloween episode of the year.
I know.
We were
Damn it.
we were saving Halloween ends for the end of Halloween.
Right.
It seemed like a safe bet at the time.
It did, right? Like, man. Do you think Rob Zombie, do you think he wants an apology from us now? Because it's like we've been shitting on him for 2.5 years or so because of the Halloween movies.
Okay.
You know?
Here's what I'll say is if I had I think that's actually a good question because I got a good question for later on.
All right.
And
All right.
the question is, and this is what I want everyone to watch the episode for. We're gonna get to the end of this, and I'm gonna let you know, and I want to hear your opinion if you would watch this over one of Rob Zombie's Halloweens or vice versa. Don't tell me now.
I'll
Don't tell me now.
I have an answer, so it's there.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone will like it.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get there though.
Okay.
Good Lord.
Well, let's talk some news for a minute, and then we'll end this Halloween.
We'll be back. Yeah.
Well, do you want me to go first?
Sure. Have at it, man.
All right.
Do the honors.
This is like hot off the presses breaking news. Like I was watching the live stream. It ended 10 minutes before this recording.
Okay.
There is not only 3 new Silent Hill games coming out, but they're doing a sequel by the same director of the Silent Hill movie from, what was that, 2005?
Which one though?
The first one.
The first one. Okay.
Yeah. So Christoph Gans.
Well, that's cool.
Return to Silent Hill is what it's called.
It's kind of exciting. Another trip around the block. See if we can have some more fun with it.
Man, I was just thinking too, like, because I don't know, I think it was like maybe Monday or something when they said that this announcement was going to drop on Wednesday. That, like, what year is this? We're getting Alone in the Dark, Resident Evil 4, Silent Hill 2 remake, Dead Space. Like, I mean, it really
is this early 2000s.
That, yeah,
like, kind of feels like it. Yeah.
The only thing that's
weird
cool, though, is that it is cool. Because of the 2 Silent Hill movies, that was definitely the better one. Was the Christoph Gans one, the first one with Rose, where they very, very loosely adapted the first movie, and this is adapting Silent Hill 2, which they already
interesting
kind of had elements of Silent Hill 2 in that movie. So how they answer that, or if they, I don't know. It's been 15 years. Like the fans have a long memory, but the general movie going audience probably doesn't care. So,
well, that's good news for me because I can't play these types of games. I'd really try to play fucking scary games. I can't do it. It's too in my brain, and I actually get terrified. So it's nice that if they're adapting a movie from this series and they're picking Silent Hill 2, I'm more ecstatic about that because everyone says like that's a really good version of Silent Hill. That's a really good game. So if they're adapting that storyline, I can actually see it this time. So instead of getting terrified and turning off the game.
Okay, so you owned that game for Xbox, but you didn't beat it?
No. I mean, I own Alien Isolation as well, and I didn't get through that.
Oh wow, okay.
And I'm a super big Alien fan. It's too terrifying. There's like a threshold that I can do in a game, and if it goes past that, I eject the game from my system and I just won't play it again.
Okay.
And that threshold is really low. It is minuscule. So I don't play these games, which is surprising. It's surprising with the amount of horror that I watch and consume on a daily basis then I would have a problem playing a video game. But I
Yeah.
mean, like you saw me react to like some wheelchair coming down the stairs at me. I thought it was like a monster little person wielding a giant knife, and I like controlled my guy right out of the room where I came from. I was like, nope, you know.
Hmm. Yeah.
So it was just a wheelchair. It's just a wheelchair, but it was a monstrosity in my brain, you know. So
All right. Well, we don't have to dwell on that, but yeah, I mean that's big news because Silent Hill has been dormant for a long time. Konami was just kind of like done with video games. It seemed like they were just never going to
yeah,
make another game ever again.
yeah, they turned all their video games into those gambling machines.
Pachinko machines.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was joking that was going to be the announcement. There's going to be new.
New pachinko machines
Yeah, that
based
was.
on Silent Hill 2.
I mean, there already is, but it's going to be like
Yeah,
that's the new announcement
yeah.
is the new pachinko machine. But yeah, no, they didn't give a much of a time frame. I think Silent Hill 2 remake is coming out first, and then the movie. Um, I don't know if it's in order or if it's just scattered out over 2022, 2024, but to come back like big and huge like that with its own event is it's pretty gutsy, and it shows that they have a commitment to the series, which I think is good, instead of here's this one thing and if it's not successful you're not getting anything else.
Right.
They already have all this stuff that they've announced, but who knows, they pulled the plug on Silent Hills, the last game that was supposed to come out, and so
Yeah.
I'm sure that something from this will come out. It's not just going to be vaporware. So I'm tentatively excited, even though I don't have great feelings about the team that's behind the actual Silent Hill 2 remake. But that's a whole nother thing. That's a video game thing. This is a movie podcast. So
Right.
that's what I got. Return to Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Could be okay. What do you got?
I don't know. I'll wait till it's out, you know. I mean, I don't trust Konami. But anyways. Uh Twisters is looking to bring back Helen Hunt to star in their movie. So the two things are going on with that statement. They're making a sequel to the 1996 blockbuster Twister.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know this was happening, and it's like, this is not The Onion. This is a real thing.
Right.
They're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's being made. They want to bring back Helen Hunt, and I'm just like, that's really interesting and something that I never cared for. I was like, you know what I need? I need more Twister. I need more Twister. And so
Twisters.
Twisters, yeah, it's probably something about global warming, you know, which is a real thing. But yeah, it's just funny to me that that's like the first article that I've seen that this is happening. And it's like, well, where's the prologue that this is actually coming? It's like, oh, we're trying to get Helen Hunt back for our sequel to 1996 movie. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like, oh, okay. Oh, wait, but you're making Twisters. So,
Yeah. Who, who's
yeah,
who's been holding on for that one for this long? Like,
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, it's maybe Alanis Morissette needs to be on a new soundtrack, or same with the Goo Goo Dolls. You know,
oh my
I
god.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's happening, but I'll probably go see it when it comes out in the theater. You know, why not?
I'm trying to think back to the songs that were on that soundtrack, and all I
Long
can
way
think of
down.
is the Van Halen song, where it's like "Humans Being" or something.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I just,
Really
yeah,
quizzing your '90s radio filler
it's just, I
IQ.
remember the Tornadoes had lion roars in it, you know? I remember that. And then the other thing that I remember is like the Twister coming through the drive-through movie screen while The Shining was playing. You know, that was kind of a cool thing that was happening. And then sciency things were
Hmm.
also happening. But that's it. That's all I remember about, and Bill Paxton. So but yeah, so expect Twisters in the future. Maybe with Helen Hunt or maybe not with Helen Hunt. Definitely not with Bill Paxton.
Yeah, God rest his soul.
Yeah. Twister.
So that's over. Halloween's over.
Yeah,
Man, I was so hyped for this
tentatively for right
movie.
now. Me too, man. I was ecstatic after Halloween 2018 to Halloween Kills. I was like, man,
I,
yeah,
I got the
it's pretty fun,
Fangoria.
right?
Like, I got the Halloween Ends Fangoria. Like, this came in my mail the day before I went to the press screening too, and I was like,
Yeah, you should burn that because that's
I
a piece of
watched
shit magazine now.
I watched
You
the
know?
rest of the. Oh, hang on now. They do a good job with these new Fangorias. Like, there's a lot of great articles in there, but um, I was trying to like not rewatch the trailers, because I wanted to be sort of fresh and not, So like I watched one of the teasers and then the final trailer and then saw the movie and I feel
Gee,
really lied to by the trailers, honestly. Even though
yeah, it's
I
kind
I
of a
didn't
rug pull, isn't it?
I
Kind of a
yeah
rug pull.
I didn't watch them obsessively because like I kind of fell into that trap with Halloween Kills where I was like so hyped for that, and
Yeah.
it. I mean, it starts with like him coming out of the burning house and taking out the firefighters, and you're just like, this is gonna be crazy, and I feel like it
Yeah.
was, and it delivered on that. And this was like, do you know what the tagline for this was?
I don't remember. you know, when I don't like something, I like push it out of my brain. So I don't remember much of the trailer anymore or the tagline. But go ahead.
Okay,
You
so the
know.
the tagline was every scream, every scare has led to this. Led to what? A love story that goes nowhere and a 3-minute fight scene?
Yeah, that's exactly where it led to. What a snooze fest, man. They introduced Corey, this new character that we're supposed to get behind and understand and all this stuff. And
Hmm.
what a pain in the ass. What this whole movie was a pain in the ass. I saw it with friend of the show, Andrew Heath, and I looked at my phone and we were an hour in and nothing had happened yet. Not a damn thing out of an hour and 45-minute movie. And what I'm struggling with is how is this a wrap up to the events of the first two movies? It tonally it doesn't make any sense. There's themes that they present in Halloween Kills that aren't addressed in this movie.
No.
And we're supposed to be satisfied that this is how. Now we know that the franchise is not going to end. They're going to continue obviously making more Halloween movies. But let's say that they're not. Let's say that this is the final Halloween movie. What a letdown. And like how anyone likes this is really confusing to me. It doesn't I feel like they were making a different movie and they forgot that they were supposed to be making a Halloween movie. And then they're like, yeah, I guess we should kill Michael at some point. And then they kill him in a funeral procession in the last 10 minutes, and it's just, man, the majority of this movie focuses on Corey, and I didn't care for him. And then Allison's arc is completely changed. And then Laurie is even completely different from the character from Halloween Kills and Halloween 2018. How do people like this? I don't know because in any like aspect of it, like to resolve this storyline, it seems unfulfilled. Uh, it's a bummer.
I
It's a
th-
bummer.
yeah,
You know?
I've got a couple things I want to talk about because
Sure.
there's a whole lot to unpack there, and in this movie in general. I think that's why I primarily didn't like it was for some of the reasons that you said, was because Halloween Kills ends on this seemingly explosive cliffhanger.
Yes.
And that was actually one of the big complaints about that movie was that it had middle child syndrome. Like it felt like it was, you know, just in the middle of something, and then they push all of that aside, and the returning characters get pushed aside to focus on this new character who, was in the town during these events, but it's gone kind of sight unseen until now. So it's not like his arc was spread out over the course of this movie. It's here's this brand new character, and I really didn't like how Laurie and Allison were marginalized in favor of that.
Yes.
Especially because Allison really gets the short end of the stick. You know, Laurie and Michael, she's got to kill him. We get that, but still, it's like the last half an hour was, oh, the movie's finally started.
Yes.
And I didn't have a problem with the funeral procession and everything.
No.
I actually thought that was kind of cool how after all of this grief that this fucking guy has caused this fucking town, that they kill him 3-4 times what would kill a normal person, and then just to make sure that he's dead, we're gonna take him to the junkyard and feed him into a trash compactor. you know
Yeah.
like
We're really gonna get rid of them.
he ain't coming
Yeah.
back.
Right.
I liked that because that felt right. And but the Corey plot, I was twisting that around in my head trying to figure out like what in the broader context of the Halloween series are they trying to say with the character, and what are the comments that they're trying to make with the lore, right? And on both fronts it's kind of problematic because the most positive thing I can say about it is I would be disappointed if you didn't pick this up. Did you notice what font they used in the opening credits?
Yeah, that's the font from Halloween 3.
Okay, right.
As soon as I
So,
saw that, I was like, "Oh, we're going meta, and this is not going to end well."
and I feel like that's kind of what they did with they were I haven't seen any interviews on the subject. I still haven't read this article that's in here because I've been in such a sour mood ever since I've seen the movie. I actually put it away off my coffee table because I didn't want to look at it
Yeah.
after, like for 2 days after seeing the movie. Um, but I think they were trying to say kind of like, oh, you didn't like Halloween 3 because Michael wasn't in it. Well,
Yeah, we're gonna do it
Here's the
again.
Halloween 3 that we didn't make, and Michael's not the killer.
Right.
But then Michael's kind of in it barely. I mean, there are some meta comments that are in there, like how, and this is a nice nod to John Carpenter because in the original Halloween, the kids, when they're being babysat, they're watching Thing from Another World. And Corey, when he's babysitting this kid, he's watching John Carpenter's remake of that movie. You know, that was cool. Um, I just feel like I can see conceptually how like a lot of the dots connect. I didn't feel like in execution it really landed the plane though. Laurie has a statement that really closes the movie out, which evil never dies; it only changes shape.
Sure.
Okay,
It's kind of eye rolling,
as if
but
that's supposed to. I mean, I get it. I just don't feel that the ending of a trilogy was the place to push everything that you'd done aside to focus on this character to make this point. Now,
right.
had you peppered this in over the course of the series, I think I might have been a little more on board with it instead of it taking me totally sideways where it's like, Halloween kills, ends, he's on the phone, which is kind of a callback to the original movie where he's on the phone after killing the Jamie Lee Curtis's friend across the street there. Except it's her daughter now, and the stakes could not be higher. And I feel like even her character kind of got the short Karen kind of got the short shrift there with because you don't even know that she really dies unless you watch the killer cut,
Right.
because
Yeah.
she's attacked, and that's sort of, oh no, he picks up the phone in the killer cut, right? That's what happens.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
all right. So yeah, I don't know. It just seems like they pushed all that aside, and I think that's a shame. I would like to know what the plan was had COVID not hit, and really put a banana in having them like stall these movies out for so long.
I don't know. I mean, I don't even think it's. I don't think you can say it's COVID, because they found, like, David Gordon Green in his interviews recently was stating that the ending that he has in there now wasn't the original ending, and that the funeral procession to get Michael Myers to the junkyard to destroy him
Hmm.
was an afterthought. And that's something that they just came up with a couple months ago, literally,
Oh well.
so I think that even uh before that, this movie, if they didn't have that, this wouldn't have been a Halloween movie. The only thing that's tying it into that it's a Halloween movie is the very end, the last 10 minutes.
Hmm.
And the rest of it could have been anything else. It could have been any other movie. Um, and that's really a shame. Uh, Um, I want to talk about the themes that were introduced in Halloween Kills that just weren't talked about.
Sure.
And because did you feel like after you saw Halloween Kills that it was kind of leaning towards like a soft supernatural element to what was happening? You know?
100%. And
Okay. Me too.
they made such a deal about Michael leveling up through these acts of
Yes,
violence to
exactly.
become this, transcendent boogeyman. And
That's
then,
yep. There's also the room, his sister's bedroom. That's where his first victim was in the very first movie.
mhm.
That's where Karen gets killed. And then in the flashback, that's where the first officer gets killed at. There's something about that room that is there's something interesting there, right? What is it about this house, but that room specifically? And they don't bring that up again because they demolished the house in the 5-year jump forward that we
Mhm.
experienced in Halloween Ends. They no longer address that. It's just like, well, why are you planting these seeds in our brains and then without the fulfillment of them in the supposed last movie? I think that's lazy. I don't think they had ideas on how this was all going to come together, and it shows. It shows the lack of craftsmanship in Halloween Ends, that they put all these things out there into the ether to kind of get you thinking, and then they didn't do anything with them. Um, so that's really unfortunate. Uh, why they chose this to end it this way is why, like, those reasons why you're not tying it into your other movie. You're tying it into pop culture and why people don't like or do like Halloween 3, you know?
Mhm.
Uh that's really silly, because I think most people's argument about Halloween 3 is that it doesn't have Michael Myers in it. If you were to take that at Halloween 3 off the title and it was just Season of the Witch, Andrew Heath has said this, I don't think people would have problems with that movie as much as they do. So, why are you referencing a misstep that happened in the past that people already don't like? It's I don't know. Am I like am I talking dumb stuff, or am I making sense? Like, that doesn't why why? Why is there this meta
It's
analysis of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch for Halloween Ends? What is
which
that?
had nothing to do with yeah, the other one. So in an
Yeah,
odd way, the end of this, yeah, has nothing. It's a strange gamble, and I don't have answers to those questions. I want
right.
to touch
But
back on something that you brought up there about them demolishing Michael's house, and because that was
yeah,
another thing that was very frustrating for me as a viewer, was that Michael was this sad old punchline. Like I didn't even care that he was living in a sewer, because that's kind of like, okay, it's like Halloween 5, whatever, I mean, because these movies have been very referential to the other Halloween movies, and this was in a lot of ways the least referential to the proper sequels,
yeah,
Halloween 3 aside. Um, maybe, and again, they didn't touch on this, but maybe when they demolished his house, they demolished his power or some stupid thing. I don't know. I was just very frustrated when I was watching it, because whether I was on board with the Corey storyline or not, when you look at all of the punishment that he took in 2018 and Halloween Kill, I mean, that street fight with the gang, he's getting stabbed and shot and clubbed with baseball bats.
yeah, yeah,
And then this kid lays him out with 2 punches and takes his mask. Like, well, hang on. Like,
yeah,
what happened there? Like, we know that there's been a time difference, but this is also the guy who spent 40 years in Smith's Grove and just got out and instantly went on a fucking rampage like that. He didn't lose
right.
a step in that time, and he was incarcerated. So
Yes.
I don't
Hey,
know, man. That really doesn't track with me, and that's kind of what I was
no, it
saying
doesn't.
earlier, where like I'm a bit puzzled as to some of the choices that they made with the character and the lore,
Yeah,
and the statements just in a broader context. And
yeah. The other thing, and I'm just thinking of this now, if they wanted a cathartic release for us as the audience, they would have shown the Myers house getting destroyed at the end of this movie
mhm.
instead of something that they just did off camera. You know, it should have coincided with them putting Michael Myers in that grinder of them either somehow destroying the Myers
Oh yeah,
house,
no, yeah, that
you
would have been a
know,
cool
juxtaposition, you know.
like
Yeah,
montage. Yeah.
yeah. Um, it's so hard to compartmentalize, like, uh, like the choices for this movie. I'm like I said, I'm not mad about this movie. It's just baffling and unsatisfying. Um, one of the things that I like that they played, or an idea at least that they introduced that they didn't take anywhere, was how negativity and continual negativity can actually change someone into a monster, right?
Hmm.
That's a really cool idea to explore because we see it all the time in daily life right now, and I'm sure you've experienced it. Just there's this quick draw to anger over every little thing that can happen. I mean, you see it
Especially
all
in
the
the
time.
social
People are
media
just
age. Yeah.
mad, you know. uh but if you're mad all the time, like, that type of negativity is going to fester and it's going to grow. And if you place that in Haddonfield, that's a really interesting concept, but I don't think it needs to be done with one person. I think it could have been done with the whole town, not just Corey. And they tried to do that, but it's such surface level. Yeah, the survivor of that couple, in Halloween Kills, where Michael escapes the fire at Laurie Strode's house, and then
Hmm.
he comes across that new couple, and they're just dinking around. They're having a good night at home. Well, she survived and she's there, and they're mad at Laurie for provoking Michael Myers. She never provoked him,
Right.
ever. Not in the 78 version, not in the 2018 version, not in Halloween Kills. Everyone was just trying to stop him. They didn't provoke him. So it's just like, where are these lines coming from? Where are these attitudes coming from? I like the idea that a town can become negative, and that can manifest itself somehow. And maybe the implication is that it has manifested into Michael Myers. But they did such a sloppy job of bringing those elements together where I don't even know if people are picking up on that, you know?
Hmm.
Uh so cool idea, piss poor execution. Um
Yeah, I
the
keep coming back to the Sheriff Brody confronting Mrs. Kittner, and well, Miss Kittner confronting Sheriff Brody in Jaws. I think they were kind
yeah,
of trying to do like something kind of like that, but like how dare you be happy when you were
yeah,
you were involved in this, but it's not really your fault, but it's kind of
right.
you're tangentially involved, so therefore we're mad at you.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
The other thing that I didn't like was that like Corey's character, there's a misunderstanding. Like he killed the kid by accident, which is a horrible thing. But then it's like he becomes this monster because people treat him bad. And to get him cozy up to Michael gives you the impression, at least it did me, that Michael's misunderstood as well, and
Hmm.
that he's not a bad guy because now you're seeing this younger, you're supposed to be seeing this younger version of Michael who people are mad at him. And of course the kid died. People aren't going to have like good feelings about it, but it really wasn't his fault. And then you got Michael Myers, who is the essence of evil and just destroyed half of Haddonfield in Halloween Kills. But the connection is like, oh, maybe Michael's misunderstood. And if we just gave him a hug, he wouldn't be just killing everybody, you know?
Uh-huh.
And once again, that's a sloppy juxtaposition to give these two characters. Um, you
I
know,
Yeah, I could see that coming up at like a bar kind of conversation where it's late at night, a couple people are having some beers. Like, hey, you know what? It'd be interesting is if we did, yeah, like how like Michael killed his sister, but like what if someone killed a kid, but they didn't mean it? Would he still be Michael Myers?
yeah,
That's basically
right.
my like how I imagine that scene came about. Um, yeah, it's not that it doesn't totally work. I just really don't feel that the end of the trilogy, which has been all about Laurie and Michael and her pain and the town's pain, is the place to shove all of that aside to make this other comment. So it's not that I don't think that some of the ideas that they were bringing to the table don't have merit. I just really didn't feel like this was the place to make those points.
I agree. 100%. Like I like some of these ideas that they're trying to bring up. They're just doing it poorly.
Hmm.
And then the result is this kind of, hey, we're making this kind of, I don't know. Lack of craftsmanship is the best way I can put it. Like I can't believe that this is the script that they're like, "Hey Blumhouse, what do you think of this?" And they're like, "Yeah, do it." What? You know, yeah, it's really unfortunate. Um,
Do you see any similarities to Christine in this? Because that was one of the things that I had heard in interviews where um, the David Gordon Green was saying that because when John Carpenter read it, that was the vibe that he got, was like, this seems a lot like Christine. And he's like, yeah, cool, right?
what? No. My answer is no. I don't. I mean, you're gonna have to like give me the nuances because my answer is no. There's no similarities between Christine unless you're gonna point out some like deeper stuff. I
I
don't
mean,
see Christine in this
aside
movie.
from a bullied kid working at a junkyard, I mean, that's about what I got out of that. That's really the only connection to the Artie character that I saw.
Yeah, Stephen King liked this movie, and I'm just like, oh man, okay. I guess I can't trust your reviews anymore, Mr. King. You know, it's It's so
He said it was
weird.
he liked it because he said it was character driven. And
Oh my
I
god.
mean,
Come on. He said it in like 2 sentences. That means he likes it. There's not like he didn't go out and be like, "Well, this could have been better. This could have been better." He's like, "Yeah, I liked it because it was character driven."
yeah.
So it's like an endorsement of the movie. Come on,
Uh-huh.
King. You
Which
know?
isn't, I mean, yeah, it's true. Characters drive the movie, but they drive it in the wrong direction.
Right. Well, that is the comment that I see a lot is that everyone likes Corey's acting and what he has to go through. Okay, great. So do I. I don't have a problem with
A
his
lot of
acting.
people can relate to getting picked on by roving gangs and band students,
Yeah,
I guess.
right. What a bunch of wimpy looking high schoolers that he had to deal with as like what a 24-year-old. Um, yeah, I don't know. I forgot where I was going. I was on to something, but now I don't remember what it is. So,
With
uh,
Stephen King liking it, or
oh no, oh, I remember. The comments of people are saying that they like his acting, they like his story, but it's not cohesive for a Halloween movie to have his story in there. Like I feel like people are missing the point, right? Where it's just like this isn't a good Halloween movie, not because there's bad acting or like weird storylines. It's bad because it doesn't make sense with the other two Halloween movies. It feels like it's a completely different movie, maybe in the franchise, but not a follow up to Halloween Kills, you
Mhm.
know? Um, the way that people can pick apart little things and still say it's a good movie is kind of beyond me. I don't know how to reconcile that. I view this as a whole package. So all these elements put together, does that make it a good movie? Does it make it a great ending to what started to be what I considered like bringing Halloween back to its former glory and becoming, and if they had done something really special with this last movie, it would be hard for other horror franchises to live up to it. But now we're all kind of laughing at Halloween Ends. We're kind of laughing at this franchise again. And it's like I don't think that's what they wanted, but that's what they delivered,
Mhm.
you know? So
Yeah, we're gonna make this really feel like the Halloween sequels. Like we're gonna start out great out of the gate, and then
for real.
yeah, that's one of the comments that a friend of mine said, because people have been blowing up my phone since this movie came out about what do you think, and with their thoughts on it as well. And one of my friends said that this I have mixed feelings about it, but it really gave me, because he didn't like Halloween Kills, but it really gave me a new appreciation for that movie. And then someone else even said what you just said, where this, I'm not sure that what we watched last night was a Halloween movie. It's
Yeah.
and he liked it. He kind of liked it, but
Right.
he's like, it didn't really feel like a Halloween movie to me. And it doesn't really look like a Halloween movie. I mean, it doesn't look
No.
like the other two that they did, because I saw someone say, I don't know, on Twitter or something like that, that they thought it was the best looking one out of the bunch. I mean, it's not that it looks bad. It looks completely different from the other two. So like, even tonally, visually, storytelling wise, it's just, the distance between those is so massive for me that I think for the first time since the Rob Zombie Halloween movies, which really weren't that long ago, I know
No,
that
they
I'm
weren't.
not I know that I'm not going to buy this when it comes out.
I'm not gonna watch this one again. This is one and done. I don't care. For me, like this uh, uh the Halloween franchise ends with Halloween Kills. You know, they didn't get him. He's off running around again. That's how all Halloween movies end. So that's where Halloween Kills ends. I don't care to watch this movie. It even to even to make sure my thoughts are accurate, just to go back through it and be like, hey, is it really did this really perturb you as bad as it did when you first watched it? I don't even want to do that. I felt like it was boring. I don't want to rewatch it because it's not a movie that I wouldn't rewatch because I hate it, like Rise of Skywalker. Was incredibly bored with 90% of this movie. And I'm like, I could watch so many other things and, have fun with it than watching Halloween Ends again. But I know people that have seen it more than once, you know? Wow.
I'm in no hurry to watch it again. And
No.
if I'm at someone's house and they're putting it on, I think I might try to veto
Oh,
that
I
because
got COVID. I got to go home.
I really don't. Yeah, I don't know. A lot more time has to pass for me to even consider watching this again. And
Hmm.
the last time I felt this way was probably Halloween Resurrection, where
Yeah,
like I saw it. Hmm.
that's a thing that they made.
I'm out. And I didn't buy that one. And just like that, if it wasn't for that box set that I have, I wouldn't own Halloween Resurrection or the Rob Zombie movies.
I
And I
know.
was waiting for this too because the reason I didn't buy the other ones on 4K was because like I've got 2018 digital, but I was waiting for a physical release. And that's why I didn't buy Halloween Kills yet, was because it's like, oh, okay, when this one comes out, they're gonna do a box set, and you're not gonna get me buying these movies every time they come out with a and I don't think I'm going to follow through with any of that because
I will upgrade my 2018 to a 4K of that Halloween movie,
Mhm.
and I'm good. I'm good.
I
This one's
re
not
I
going to get a
rewatched
4K purchase.
2018 and Kills in preparation for this. I watched 1, 2, 2018 and Kills, and I still like Halloween Kills. I mean, it's got some flaws, but I was willing to overlook them
Yes,
in the hopes that this movie would deliver something and really put a bow on this. And it put a bow on it, but not in ways that I'm sympathetic with. So
right.
let's talk about the funeral procession for a little bit because we both like that, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's so interesting because it was weird in the movie, right? Like how we got to that moment. But then once it started, I thought it was needed, right, to end this series. Because the reason why I say it was weird is that once again, there's a tonal shift. I felt like the last 10 minutes of the movie looked like the other Halloween movies
Hmm.
with that kind of haze, that bluish haze that's going on everywhere, you know? So it's like, oh, this is Halloween. And then I felt like it was that's what the town needed. That's what Haddonfield needed to put this to rest, was to see this monster getting destroyed in front of everybody, you know?
Hmm.
That yeah, that's like I think a really good way to end it. It's just that other 90% in front of it. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, no, I said it before. I think the last half hour's, actually pretty good. It just felt like a real chore to get there, and it kills me to say
Mhm.
that because, oh man, I really wanted this to be good. I had such
I
high
did
hopes.
too. I thought this was like they were onto something special, you know?
Hmm.
I guess I placed my trust in the wrong type of creative people because I was excited. This is like my favorite horror franchise. And I'm always happy that there's more Halloween movies coming out. And it just sucks to keep getting punched right in the mouth by the people that are responsible for making Halloween movies, you
Well,
know?
yeah. I mean, it's not Hellraiser bad, but
No, I don't think any of them get to that level,
and well,
but
just in terms of like punching the fandom in the face constantly.
oh yeah. But man,
You know,
man, oh man.
to your statement there about, you thought they were really onto something, and I do think that they were really onto something, and there were some good ideas in here, but I think the end product proves to the detractors well, they're not going to give a shit one way or the other. But to me, it proves to the detractors of these movies that yes, there is in fact a real art form to doing them well.
Yes.
And even very talented people can have some interesting ideas and still kind of mess it up, even when it's like, you feel like you got all the ingredients there, but it's like trying to pick up egg, it just keeps like going through your fingers. You can't do it.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
um, all right. So my big question here, and this is the last thing that I had for you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think I know the answer. So if you had this Blu-ray in one hand and Rob Zombie's Halloween in the other, and we've been very vocal that both of us don't like those movies,
Yes.
which one are you going to watch?
It's gonna be a shocker. I'm gonna watch the Rob Zombie Halloween over Halloween Ends.
The first one, the second one, like you would take both of those?
Either one.
Either one,
Even though I
really.
think Halloween 2 is dog shit, and it is on my worst movies of all time list, I would still prefer it over Halloween Ends simply because it has a plot. It set out to do something, and it accomplishes them. I don't like those things, and I think it's dog shit in the end, but at least it's something.
Hmm.
Something's there propelling the story forward. Not in Halloween Ends. It just seemed like I feel like everyone was drugged making this movie because that's the only way I can make sense of the decision making. Just this haze and fogginess, you know. You know when you get sick and like you're like, oh man, you just can't remember what day it is, even though it's just like you could just look at your phone. You just have problems remembering the dumbest things, the simplest things. Yeah, that's what I feel like Halloween Ends is. They were asleep at the wheel, and then what they got, they just kind of threw it together. At least Rob Zombie put together something that has a start, a middle, and an end, you know, quite literally, So there you
I
go.
I think I think some
If it's a
interesting fan edits could come out of this trilogy of movies.
oh, I got a fan edit. You just take the first
You
hour
take the
and
Corey
30
stuff out.
minutes out and then cut that, throw that in the world's hottest incinerator, and then give us the last 15 minutes. And there you go. That's your
That's your
perfect fan
movie.
edit. Yep.
That's your movie.
Jesus. Now I'm starting to get mad about it, because it's like this could have been something special. And now it just seems like it's every other company's cash grab to get loyal fans of a franchise in the seats. So that's what I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a really interesting choice to kind of use Halloween 3 as a template to troll the audience.
Yeah.
But I mean, to me, maybe some people like that, but to me, that's what it felt like, just with
Yeah.
100% less Tom Atkins and Budweiser.
That's right. That's right.
Um, yeah,
Oh my god. Oh, so unfortunate. Well,
I
at least we got Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills. I'll still go back to them, even though they're part of the same franchise. This Halloween Ends hasn't soured those two movies for me. Thank God. At least I don't feel like it has yet.
see. I think I'm gonna have a problem revisiting Halloween Ends or Halloween Kills because I don't think that, like, knowing that there's no satisfactory place to go from there. I don't know if I want to get myself built that up
Yeah.
just to be like deflated
Right.
like
Right.
this. Um, having said all of that, I would still probably watch this over either Rob Zombie's Halloween. And
Yeah.
I said it before. I've got them in that box set. They've been sitting in that damn box set ever since I bought it
Yeah.
because
Fuck
I
that.
I would have to be so desperate for entertainment to watch those, and I just haven't gotten to that point. I have rewatched Resurrection, which was the first time that I've seen that since the theater. And but no, those Rob Zombie ones, they can sit there.
Yeah. By themselves
I don't need
in the
it.
corner. Yeah.
And just like I feel like I don't need this. And that's That's unfortunate. So as much as I do like Halloween Kills, and we did a whole episode on that last year. Um, I don't know that I'm going to be able to go back to that one based off of the fact
This
that I
one,
know that this is what follows that. So I guess for me,
yeah,
it just ends with him burning in the basement in 2018.
yeah.
It's kind of a perfect ending, and they even knew that if it wasn't successful, they could stay like, hey, you know
He
what?
died.
It felt
Yeah,
like there was closure. There's that weird freeze frame ending, which still doesn't make sense to me, where like they're holding the knife, where because they're riding in the
yeah.
bed in the back of the truck. I don't get that choice. I didn't get it then. I don't get it now. I still really like that movie though. I think it's legitimately great. I feel that this is, whether you like it or not, the weakest of the Blumhouse movies. I feel like even a positive critic should probably be objective about that.
Right, right.
um, yeah, wish I liked it better.
Same, same. Oh, I just wish it was something else.
Halloween
Not even the
else.
yeah.
That's
Anything
oh
Halloween,
yeah,
anything else.
Halloween
Yeah,
else.
yeah. God, so unfortunate. Oh man, but I ain't sending any hate mail out. It's a bummer. You
Yeah,
know, not gonna tweet at David Gordon Green or Blumhouse or any of that shit. But
yeah. You
Jesus,
know
man.
what you should have done? Shut up. Get out of here. Like,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, they swung big, and
yeah, and struck out. You know,
yeah, for
so
me, yeah, you like what you like, and people it seems to be finding its audience somehow, even though like
I
the
feel it's the
the
opposite. I feel
Texas
like people
Chainsaw
were.
Massacre didn't.
Oh yeah,
I see a lot more people defending this online than Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
everyone hated that movie. I
Hey,
enjoyed it.
here's a
Listen. Here's what's crazy, guys. Here, you want to know something crazy? I'm gonna tell this to you right now. The new Texas Chainsaw Massacre is better, way better than Halloween Ends. There you go. Because guess what? I've watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre twice.
mm, I
But
don't.
it's how are you even gonna go, with everything that you just said
Yeah,
about Halloween Ends? How are you gonna do that to me?
I like more of its ideas on the surface, but not the sum of its parts.
Which one?
Yeah, Halloween Ends.
So how does that make it better than Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Because I didn't like what they were saying with it, or many of the conceptual ideas that they were going with. That felt a lot less baked for me than this did, even though I didn't care for it in execution. It's not that as a movie it was terrible. I just felt like just like in the Alien Three way. It's what a bad continuation of what you were building on. Um, what I will say though is what a bonkers year for horror. We
Yes,
got,
it's been a good year.
whether you like these
Very
movies
good year.
or not, is irrelevant. We got a new Texas Chainsaw, Scream, Hellraiser,
Halloween.
Halloween, and they were all produced
Kind
at
of
a
got one.
pretty good level. Basically, the only thing we didn't get was a Nightmare on Elm Street.
Right.
God knows
There's
what's
been
happening
other
with that
horror movies.
series.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
but just out of like the big
yeah.
marquee ones,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. And kind of like what I was saying with the news segment, where it's like we're getting Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Alone in the Dark, Dead Space. Like, what years, and it's just like,
Yeah.
and like even flipping through this Fangoria here, because they got a lot of stuff about the new Hellraiser in here and everything. And, it's like the quality of the movies be damned. It, it really feels like we've kind of like come full circle back to that kind of golden age in time where people are having these arguments, and these fandoms were forming their tribes around this property or that property.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. I like that there's not just big movies, but even small movies like smaller movies like Terrifier and Barbarian that just and Smile and X that just have people talking about horror. So that's
Got
really
some
cool.
flavor to them.
Yep.
Something to sink your teeth into, and that's also something that I like to see. Uh just new stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah. Man. Man, oh man. Just bummed. All right. One more thing I want to add real quick.
Before
David
Halloween
Gord
ends.
Yeah, before this episode ends. Just keep in mind, David Gordon Green is directing the next 3 Exorcist movies. Just food for thought. Just gonna put it right there for you. Just think about that for a minute.
Well, I'm not a huge fan of those, so I really don't plan on seeing them. I hope they go well for people that do like them.
If it's still going on, I don't give a shit, you know, because I don't want to be built up to be let down, you know. So
No, I mean, I guess that's good news for Exorcist fans.
bad
Uh,
news for people that like good movies.
oh, snap.
Yeah, or I'll good endings, I'll say,
Yeah.
So
Well, I think that about does it for us for Halloween. Or do we have one more in the tank? Are we gonna? Are
I
we?
don't know what we're doing. We can, of course. I'd kind of rather do like kind of a Halloween recap of like maybe some movies we've seen that we like over just a little like small list of like, hey, these are the movies I saw that I did like because we've had a lot of negativity in this podcast this month. So
Over the course of the year, or
no, just this month we've had Rob Zombie on the list. We've had Halloween Ends on the list, and both of them aren't good.
no? I meant which, like, did you want to talk about like Halloween movies, like movies that we've liked that we've seen during the month of October, or just in
Oh
2018 in
yeah,
general?
yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
we like do something with that, just to have kind of a breather
Kind of
after Halloween Ends, like a
kind of
little epilogue.
do a Halloween hangover before we get back into the Thanksgiving
That's right.
spirit. And
That's right.
hey, if Christmas can annex 3 months of the year, then Halloween can take one more week. So that's it. We're doing one
I
more
was
Halloween episode.
I was buying Halloween decorations, and I walk across the aisle, and there's Christmas decorations, and my brain wanted to explode. We're pagans over here, people. We don't like your pseudo religious holiday, you know? Get that shit out of my face.
I'm not a bah humbugger. It is absurd that you're putting Christmas decorations out in September.
Yes. Have fun
Unreal.
with your holiday.
The war on Christmas
It
starts
can't
now.
last. It can't last. Yeah. It can't last 4 months. That's all that I'm saying. All right.
He looks like the Michelin Man. I mean, like, the technology has changed so much. Like, he comes out and he's just like this
Oh,
big
yeah.
puffy guy, but still it's like that's a real human being on fucking fire for like 10 minutes, it feels like.